Mark calling Austin. Come in, Austin. No, noof. Greetings and salutations. Boys and girls, it's been a while. I mean, we done our damnedest to entertain you over COVID. Karl and I worked ourselves to the bone, so much so that we both actually ran out of things to say. We refused to speak to each other for the best part of a year, determined that one or the other of us should just really go away and leave the other alone. And then we realised that no, we'd missed a memo. We'd both misinterpreted that call you next week was actually call you next year. So now we're back, and we're back with an important thing. We're back with yet another Crooked Dice Kickstarter. Each one getting better than the last. To the point that this poor man, look at him, he's fading away to nothing. The last time we seen you, Karl, you looked like a man in his mid-40s. Now you look like a man in his early 40s.
Nice. It's the beard. I've had a bit of a trim. I've got in the lockdown beard. I went through the mad wizard phase, and I've moved now into new pair of trimmers, slightly misjudging the settings level.
Okay, yeah, we've all been there. I went for the 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm bored. I'm going to cut my own hair, and I've never looked back.
How did that go? And the results are there for us all to see.
I think it went pretty damn well myself. But that would be because I'm remarkably shallow and don't care about anyone else's opinion.
I think it looks lovely.
Now, it looks lovely now, but watch.
Oh, I thought what you were going to do like Play-Doh is as you blew into that, I thought the hair was going to come out the side of your head.
No, sadly not. I'm working on that upgrade. I'm 3D printing the parts. Speaking of which, let's talk about the elephant in the room quickly, because I know you'll have some stuff to show us later. But you once upon a time said to me, 3D printers, Andy. I don't think so. And now, Karl, Rick Rhodes, Pirates of Luna City, Karl and Crooked Dice into the big bad world of 3D printing.
I've dipped my toe. I've given it a go. And a little experiment with this one. We've got a few bits in there.
And have you enjoyed the process? I've
learnt a lot, because there's finding out the difference between FDM and SLA and different printer beds. There's a whole new world that's kind of opened up to me. And I'm probably going to get it wrong before the end of it. But yeah, no, I'm really, really pleased with some of the results that we've got out of it. Just kind of designing for the right thing. So I can show you some stuff later.
Interesting, but answered in the style of a Northern Ireland politician. Did you enjoy the process?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Definitely. Yeah.
Steady. It's a family show, Karl. It's a family show.
Yes, no, I did. A big thank you to there's Scott Reed of Tarwood Studios, who did all of the design stuff and has done some fantastic stuff, and then the lovely Swansea Dave of Produce 3D modelling has just given us some just lovely stuff.
Swansea Dave, you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. I love the fact that your entire crew all have nicknames that have no bearing on their real names at all.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Blinky.
No eyelids.
No, just no eyes, just sockets.
So, Karl, we're not going to bother with the sort of thing for you uninitiated people who, as of yet, are to capture the magic and the glory that is Crooked Dice 7 TV. There was this wonderful thing built during COVID called the internet. And you go into Google, you type Crooked Dice 7 TV, and it will give you answers. And you go and check that out. But meantime, for your eye enjoyment, we're going to dive straight in. So we have had, as you can see behind me, we're splendid. We've got Pulp, we've got Apocalypse, we've got Spy-Fi TV, we've got Fantasy. And then, of course, we've got Lurkers in the Deep. So Rick Rhodes, Pirates of Luna City, where does it fit in for everyone in the Crooked Dice catalogue?
Right, so this is another feature pack, 7TV Pulp. And when we call feature packs, that's just our fancy name for a bunch of scenarios and kind of dedicated profiles. So we did Lurkers from the Deep, which was a Cthulhu-based one, kind of raid on an Innsmouth. And this is planet-hopping romances and adventures with with two-fisted heroes and evil tyrants saving the solar system. It's a good fun kind of romp for pulp. So 5 scenarios, 17 profiles, some new gadgets and bits and pieces. Rocket Pack heroes, and evil empires. This one.
For the sort of the general masses, then, I mean, it's fairly easy when you look at likes of pulp and you look at apocalypse. Well, maybe not for some people when they look at pulp, but when you look at fantasy, apocalypse, lurkers from the deep, there's that immediate thing. I mean, judging by the picture over your shoulder, would people be safe to assume that we are sort of talking that stylized golden era of like Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers?
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's those kind of rocket ship planetary romances that we got. So with there's our feature pack there as ever. It doesn't disappear.
It doesn't. Only parts of it.
In a lovely little VHS case in there. So it's an ode to all of those cliffhanger serials, which if you're a man of a certain age, grew up watching those on kind of Saturday mornings or after school on BBC Two. When the news was on and you want to watch something more exciting. So, yeah, I've loved those forever. And it was a good opportunity to kind of try and scratch that itch.
So there, yet again, for our younger viewers, you might want to go and check out such things as Flash Gordon, and please, for the love of Mercury, type that in properly. Flash Gordon. And the classic serials, the Buck Rogers. I mean, Rocket Man. Well, I suppose he was the Rocketeer. He was maybe a bit more pulp, but there was a fine line back then between pulp and science fiction, really, at some points as well.
Well, they're all kind of mixed in. They were designed. The cliffhangers were designed for kids on a Saturday morning to go into a movie theatre, and they were serialised over kind of 12 episodes, normally 12, 13 episodes. And little serialised adventures kind of every week. But there was a mix of everything. There was gangsters and jungle adventures and planetary romance like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers and Captain Cody and kind of all of those. And Captain Marvel, Shazam, that one. Yeah. There was a whole mix of them, which we tried to kind of cover in the pulp box. But within that, there's a little kind of thrilling adventures one, which is where Flash and Buck and in our case Rick Rhodes all live. So
one of the defining features for me of that era that you're talking about was that classic cliffhanger. You know, at the end of episode 2, the spaceship goes into the black hole, or it crashes into the Morocco, or the horse goes off the cliff. That reminds me of a joke. The horse goes off the cliff, and then you'd sit there going, "Oh no, you know, Flash Gordon's dead. The Lone Ranger's dead." And then next week you come back and it would be the same moment, but suddenly you'd see that he had just jumped out at the last instant.
Held onto a twig.
Yeah.
Or there was a rope, or there was a passing plane. Yeah. It used to really annoy me.
That was one of the best bits. How will he have survived, Mummy? Mummy, how will he have survived? Because my mum was the science fiction nerd in our house, so it was like, you know, on my knee, we're watching Doctor Who. Now we're watching Star Trek. We're going to the pictures. Oh, look, here's the little sort of short before it. Let's watch that. The only one she suffered for was The Empire Strikes Back and the snowspeeder scene, because she had her hand in the box of roses and suddenly the snowspeeder said, "Oh, she says, I'm getting travel sick. Let me know when that bit's over." So I let her know once I had all the purple ones out of the quality street.
Nice.
It's over now, Mum. It's over.
All gone.
It's all gone. I mean, are we going to get those cliffhanger moments in Rick Rhodes?
Yeah, to a point. I mean, we kind of bake that into the mechanics anyway. There's a cliffhanger deck that you kind of turn over. Each player turns over every time with a kind of a little ode to those in it. But yeah, there's some shocks and spills and thrills kind of along the way with this one, which is quite nice. So yeah, the new gadgets and stuff like that as well. So we're really kind of playing to that. I grew up on these things, just loving them. I mean, if I remember rightly, George Lucas couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon, so went off and kind of wrote his own thing. And when these appeared on TV, it was at that height when we were just gagging for kind of any sort of science fiction at all.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to watch back now, I think, but it's never really left me. And this one, I think, hopefully, we're doing it justice.
It's like Billy and Jimmy went to the pictures But before the main show came on, there was the little serial, and it was the Lone Ranger. And
Yeah.
Billy says, I bet you a 10p mix he goes over the cliff. And Jimmy says, Aye, I'll see your 10p mix. No problem. So along go, and right enough at the very end, over the cliff he goes. He says, oh, there's your 10p mix. He says, I feel bad taking it from you, though, because, you know, I seen this yesterday and I knew it was going to happen. And he says, that's all right. I seen it 2 days ago and I thought he would have learned his mistake by now. That's my contribution to the era of serial comedy. Thank you very much. I'm here all the week, but you don't have to watch me all week. Absolutely. Character cards. Now, this is always the thing, and we'll throw this in for people again, I suppose, as well. This is the beauty. For me, this is one of the beauty, and for many of the fans, this is one of the beauties of 7TV. The character cards, okay, with these serials, we do have the option of getting the miniature and the character card, and the two align. But again, once you've done this adventure, once you want to include these characters in other games, you're not bound to that card and that miniature. If you don't have the Rick Rhodes, you can have your Steven Seagal figure being your Rick Rhodes profile character for your game at home.
Yeah, 7TV is the rules are written so that all of the profiles are kind of really open. They're not names. There'll be a flamboyant agent or a space ace if you wanted to kind of use that. And it's miniatures agnostic as well. We're trying to kind of write things and do games for those miniatures you've had sitting on a shelf for a few years and couldn't quite find the right game for. You know, you're our people. So with this one, with the feature pack, yes, it's a particular story with particular characters in there for those people that don't want to create their own. There are some people that kind of don't like it, but Pulp itself will allow you to kind of use whatever you like for it. And the ratings are fairly are balanced across all of the things. So there's no reason why you couldn't swap out a particular profile for something kind of a similar kind of points value or something, and it would still work. Yeah.
Now, just again, for the benefit of the uninitiated, for the new recruits to the Star League that are here to defend the Outer Rim, if we jump in and back for Rick Rhodes, we're going to need, on this side, we're going to need the Pulp base rules to really make that gel and work. Yes?
Yes.
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 Now, if per Timmy of, let's say, limited finances, if he's stuck with just one of the other rule sets, can he jig it? Or is it too much headspace for him? He can jig it.
Yeah, we've got a free PDF of the intro Spy-Fi box in there. Those mechanics are pretty much the same across all of the box sets. What we've just done is maybe tweaked it a little bit for the tone of the thing. So name might be slightly different. So if you've got that free rule set, a gamer with a little bit of nous will be able to join the dots quite easily and be able to use it straight away. And there's a lovely community, 7TV Productions on Facebook. Go there and people will be able to answer kind of any questions you've got about doing that and mapping it if you need to. But ideally, that Pulp box set, which we've had reprinted now, so that's available. Other side.
It's here, boys and girls. It's Pulp, and it looks like this, and it's filled with stuff. Filled with stuff, I tell you. There we go.
But the beauty of the feature pack is that all of the kind of rules are pretty much self-containing that you need for the scenario. So you're just going to follow the steps in each chapter about how you set up the board and where they start and that kind of thing. The core mechanics of how to hit something, how to move, they're the same pretty much throughout all of the games, and they'll be in that free PDF if you need it.
Now, we'll very quickly give people an idea. There's loads of pledge options for this because, as Karl said, there's almost no wargamer I can think of that doesn't have I love the way you said a shelf full of miniatures. I know people who have sheds full of miniatures.
That is probably closer to it, yeah.
So just for the advantage of everyone sitting at home, I've pulled open the Kickstarter page. I'm not going to plague the page with you. There is the traditional £1. Oh, I don't know what this is about, but I support creative people. Here, buy a cup of coffee. We've got the £18, which is the feature pledge. That's your VHS box set. That's that. So you get that. All the cards, all the rules. MacGuffin? No?
There were MacGuffin cards in there, but not a specific thing.
Not a specific MacGuffin.
In the campaign are all the objective tokens you will need for Lunar City. So
Okay. And
you
they
get
all,
those
well,
if
you do. You get your free stretch goals if you even go for the
Yep.
feature packet at £18. And
Yep.
then you can push the envelope. You can do an STL only pledge. So all you 3D printer fans who've been sitting for all these years thinking, well, I'm not bothering with Crooked Dice till he gets in touch with my hobby, which is 3D printing.
Where's that person from exactly?
Over there.
Nail down that accent.
Over there.
Okay.
They're from Alpha Centauri. Every country's got a north. STL only pledge, so that'll get you your rocket ship, your crashed rocket ship, 3 icebergs, an ice throne, a ring of power. Everyone loves a ring of power.
Now, where are you going with that?
Lava chimney. Well, if you've got a ring of power, it's inevitable. Magma pools. That's what happens afterwards. Treetop platforms, treetop walkways, and ladder STLs. Don't take a mouthful of your tea. And then we start going into the realms of the interesting as well, because we've got our hero pledge, which is your feature pack, and you're starting to get figures. Radium Rangers, Lion Guards, and all the free stretch goals. £45, the villain pledge, the exact same thing, but with the baddies.
The baddies, everyone loves the baddies.
Everybody loves the baddies. £75, director's pledge, feature pack, good guys, the bad guys, and all the stretch goals. That's your sweet spot for you Kickstarter regulars, by the way. That's the kind of maximize my spend, but maximize my buy, but minimize my spend. Reverse the polarity on that one. And then you've got the producer's pledge, which is where all the nut jobs like me, when we're allowed to spend money, tend to go, which is with everything.
Everything in.
And then, is there one more? No, I don't think there's one more.
But what we tend to do is kind of add once most of the stretch goals have been and the add-ons have been unlocked, tends to like a mega pledge thing at the end of it, which will get you lots of the add-ons at a cheaper price as well. So that'll be down the line if we unlock some more bits and pieces, but we're doing well already.
But then the other thing that you're always nice about is in your Kickstarter pledge manager, you tend to give people the opportunity, because this is the nice thing. You always, and I'm assuming you're doing your pledge manager the same way, where it's a case of, here's the pledge manager, and would you like to pick some other stuff from Crooked Dice at a special kind of Kickstarter little bit of a discount because we love you and you're nice. And then what Karl tends to do is go, okay, you have been nice and you've given me £105. Thank you very much. Here's the Crooked Dice web form. But if you've changed your mind and you want to spend it on something else, okay, go for it. Spend your money and I'll box up your stuff and send it to you by tomorrow or week or sometimes a month.
What do you like? In the gym.
Or when I've had a cup of tea and I feel like it.
Basically, Kickstarter is just a weird thing. It's only really interested. It's quite mostly only really interested in the kind of value that you put in there. So we say, look, if you change your mind by the time you get to the pledge manager, you can pick a mix if you want to. Yeah. The only thing that will be slightly different this time is that we did a limited add-on, which we've never done before, for that lovely, lovely physical print of that rocket ship. And I kept it to 50 just to try and be realistic about how long it will take to print those things and get them ready.
Yes.
Dave's already printing those so that we can fulfill by July, because they're going to take a while.
I hope he's put my registration number on one of them.
He absolutely has, yes. It's engraved on the inside of it. It's lovely. But yeah, they're going to take a while. So they went quick. I thought they might. So we had 50 of them, but they've been gobbled up.
They beat you. See, you always do. I keep telling Karl off, do it when it fits my payday. I mean, I'm actually going on my way to even talk to you at the minute, because once again you've just blased through the real world, looking after your Dave the spanner eater from Lincoln and Charlie the tree basher from Portsmouth and all your other cronies. Oh, it's all right. It's only Andy from Ireland. So
you'll get one. Don't worry.
Oh no, don't be right. Now again, get onto the Kickstarter page. The link will be here somewhere. I haven't completely mastered the art of putting a link on the video that you can actually click on. I could do this by learning.
that sounds like you're living in the future with that kind of stuff.
I'm not really one for that, so I'll put the link in the comments because I have learned that I can put the link in the write up about the video, and you can click on the link and it'll take you to the Kickstarter page. It's all lovely. It is gorgeous, and there is some very nice STLs, and I think you've got a few examples you wanted to tease us with.
What would you like to?
What would I like to see? Well, Carl, if only this wasn't a family show.
Oh. So we've got some different settings in the best kind of pulpy sci-fi groove. We've got like an ice planet. It's actually all set in the solar system, but because it's pulp, you could say, yeah, there's a forest on Saturn. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So we've got the icy rings of Saturn. So there's an ice king's throne, and he's got some lovely icebergs, which I'm particularly enamoured with.
Look at that.
So it's the beauty of this stuff is just you can do these big things that you just couldn't do in resin and produce it at like a decent price, really. So
I know. If only somebody had told you this like 2 or 3 years ago.
You know, there's been a bit on. So we've got those. We've got
lava chimneys.
Lava chimneys with little bubbly lava.
Oh, look at that.
Some big ones. Those. There's some lava pools as well. Again, these all kind of. We've tried to do all of the stuff so that it's tied in with the game itself. So all of these bits and pieces you'll be able to use on your tables when you set it up.
And these terrain elements will all feature in the scenario maps as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've kind of built it out from there. It makes perfect sense. I've got a printer.
Dispatch War Rocket Ajax to bring back his body. Fire all weapons.
I could get that in completely in shot without it blanking out with the background. But that is a lovely thing, and it's nearly about a foot long, and it's got some landing gear on the bottom of it, but you can take those off. So you can change those in and out. So in flight one if you want.
An observant and cynical man, somebody more observant than me and more cynical, if that's possible to imagine, notices that model is cleaved down the middle, and immediately thinks, "Pop." Yeah, and immediately thinks, does that mean there's the possibility, if enough people back this, we might have a ship extension?
I've already discussed that with Scott, and that's exactly what I would like to do, and maybe put a little platform deck in the middle of that thing where maybe some troopers could fire off at flying then. Maybe.
Yes, trip transport or
all of these things. Scott Reed has been absolutely amazing, but he also just run his own Kickstarter about 2 weeks kind of before mine. So he's now busy designing lots of things for all the stretch goals and that, 'cause that did really well. So we ran out of time to do too many stretch goals on the digital side of things. I think if I do it again, we'll try and do that. But this one, it's a limited kind of standalone thing that you can dip into if you want. But we've got lots of ideas for adding to this kind of stuff as we go along. So we've got the other bit is the treetop village. So that's one of the trees, and again, that's all in different bits. So could take that off, could replace it with maybe a little hut or something in there, and then we've got the
air bridge. There we go. Nice. Lovely.
So there's those, and standing 2 or 3 of those together, maybe then putting a couple more platforms in the middle, so you could have a little kind of village area in the top.
Yeah, and if you had some small furry kind of creatures that perhaps were the native inhabitants that reluctantly would help the liberators against the evil empire of Emperor whoever.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I.
Amazing.
Neither do I.
It's
oh my!
It'll be great.
They think I'm a god.
So I haven't got the crash rocket ship here at the moment. That's just coming through because we had a couple of events. That's a lovely thing. So it's that rocket ship in 2 parts. There's pictures of it in the campaign.
Just going to say, can't you just throw that one on the floor?
And then I've got the Ring of Power over there, which I can nip up and get. It's huge. It's over 1 foot wide. It's a big tilting platform. Hold on.
That's a huge ring.
Thank you. This doesn't have all of the bits on it, and I bet with the background it's not going to get on. But it's
on.
The norm.
It's on. Don't move it. It's
So,
glorious. I mean, it's not the background that's affecting it. It's the fact you're wearing a black t-shirt, but we can see it. It looks ominous.
That's on our Icy World, and it's a tilting platform, gladiatorial style platform that you could possibly fight upon.
Yeah, and people could slide off and fall into the sky beneath,
or into the cold, bubbly waters around it. And
the cold, bubbly waters of Saturn.
Exactly.
Yes.
So but that thing is, you can't quite see it for this, but it's in quarters. So we've got to print this one FDM. You can't do it any other way. And each part of it is in 4. So there's a fair old chunk of filament going on. In there. But it's the centerpiece of that particular game.
Fly, my birdman.
So yeah, so that's that's the other massive piece that goes with it.
That's an impressive ring, Karl. But we all knew that already. But it's nice to see it.
I'm sitting on an inflatable one right now, just because of the size of it, really.
Yeah, and the work that you're putting in, folks. For your interest, this isn't one of those Kickstarter videos where it's like, come on, please support Karl and help us reach our target, please, because Target's been blown out of the water. It's just dust. It can't possibly have been all around. There's just an asteroid field here now. 24,411 of a target of 2,000. You must be chuffed already.
It flew. It really did. We've got 18 days to go. My idea was that mid-campaign, when things tend to go a bit flat in the Kickstarter, in the middle, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll plan a rocket ship for that because everyone will really like that, and it will build excitement again. And that went in about 3 days. Yeah. So as ever, completely misjudged it.
Yeah. Once again, you underestimate how much people adore 7TV. It's like it's all right. It's all right. People like it.
You don't want to like to be humble about these things, don't you? You don't want to go too mad. But yeah, it's it really has kind of surpassed expectations. So
it's blowing itself.
We've got a while to go yet, and I've got some other bits and pieces that are coming. Some nice new figure packs as well, which I think people will like. But yeah, I'm chuffed.
Good. And quite rightly so, because yet again you've knocked out of the park. Well, boys and girls, we've talked your ears off for nigh on 30 minutes, and this is for if you're new to us. This is Karl and I's normal. We'll just do a quick 10-minute video. Yeah, we'll do a quick. I think we've done a quick 10-minute video once that lasted an hour. If, by the other hand, you're a fan of Karl and I, then you've had a treat because you expected a 10-minute video, and you've got half an hour of us loving each other and being awesome. Yes! All the links, as I say, will be in the comment section. You will have been able to cast your eye across some pictures which I have stolen from the Kickstarter page with Karl's permission, which kind of defeats the joy of stealing them, and some pictures which he has nicely sent over because he knows I always miss the important ones and just go for like the first 5 pictures on the page and that'll do. As ever, he has mentioned the community page on Facebook and the Facebook group, and I can stand over the fact that they are a lovely bunch of people. I have yet to encounter, I have yet to encounter what I would call the attitude on the.
Yeah, they're a good bunch. We've got a good campaign day coming in July that we set up at Foundry, and it's kind of all the regulars from there coming along, and that's a lovely little day.
Nice.
So it'd be good to see all them. After it's been a long while since we've seen everybody.
And for once, I can throw into this mix because in August here in Ireland, we're going to have the August Dublin Comic Con, and there's going to be 7TV at it, boys and girls. We're going to bring down the table and we're going to do some 7TV. Yeah.
Nice.
So there we go.
Excellent.
Slowly our plans come to fruition, and we will conquer the United Kingdom at the least, and some small pockets of America and Europe as well.
Discrete areas.
Yes, three or four small towns where enough people like each other to meet 2 or 3 times a week and play games and buy crooked dice. We love you all. Right, it's been an absolute blast. We do plan to get back to something like our Saturday morning 7TVs, but we're both very Yeah, we're both shockingly busy and shockingly lazy at the same time. We'll maybe do like Saturday morning 7TV when we can be annoyed or pre-recorded, but we'll try and do something more because there's lots of exciting other new releases. Check them out, the Crooked Dice website. Now, after you've hit subscribe and like and stuff, but we're away for now. It's been a pleasure. Karl, nano,
Yes.
noof.
Bye.
Bye!